strange things happened on Twitter after Elon Musk's $44 billion Twitter purchase.
DHS set up Disinformation Governance Board to deal with what?
Beijing's turn now. The CCTV anchors start to hoard food but say different things on air.
Behind the hunger in Shanghai, corruption abounds.
Supreme Court rejected the request to block race-based admission at Virginia High School, and what is the fallout? Welcome to Wei and Kathy Show. I'm your host, Wei Fang.
I'm Kathy Zhang.
All right, so I have 4 to 5 very interesting stories for you to learn about today. And the first one has to do with, well, basically what happened after the Twitter purchase happened. Right, it's just there's some very strange thing that happened on Twitter. Okay, so maybe I can ask my DJ to post the picture there so that we can take a look all together. So first one is, okay, there's several people. Some people, their tweet followers, dropped by big number. Some other people, their Twitter followers jump up by big number. And if we take a look, so from my screen, the AOC, as you can you can see, and the AOC's Twitter followers dropped by 28,000 followers.
Okay.
Out of no reason. Okay, and then the Rachel Maddow of the MSNBC, and dropped by about 19,000. And Stephen at home dropped by 21,000. And Congressman Matt Gaetz, right? And he suddenly got a gain of 25,000 followers. And Dinesh D'Souza, and he got 42,000, suddenly jumped up. And so on and so forth, okay? And this is very interesting, all right? And the second thing is, do you know Dave Rubin? Dave Rubin is he's a radio commentator, conservative commentator. Actually, originally he was on this network called The Young Turks. He was a progressive, all right? He was there for a number of years. At a certain point, his viewpoint changed. He became a conservative TV host and have his own shows called the Rubin Report. It is really just on YouTube and also on the Glenn Beck's Blaze TV. All right, so he got 1.2 million followers on Twitter. Okay, this is the interesting piece. So on Twitter, he was tweeting, just replied to Elon Musk's tweet. He said, hey, Elon Musk, as long as you're digging, checking to how New York Times and Forbes and so etc. Bought their Twitter followers to fake influence. New York Times has 53 million followers. And they rarely get only 50 retweets. Retweets means people like it and then just pass it on, right? It's just like sharing. He said, Dave Rubin said, I could post a emoji and a picture of the 80s sitcom star and get more. So indeed, I checked that. Okay, I checked his Twitter and I find out how many retweets he got. And I also checked the New York Times. And I also checked Forbes and checked Bloomberg. Yes, indeed. With this Dave Rubin, his retweets is it's almost always in the hundreds. He only have 1.2 million Twitter followers. Well, New York Times has 53 million. Okay, so like 50 times. Okay, how many retweets does New York Times posting have? Let me just read it to you. In the most recent 5 posts, 5. 16, 25, 27, and 58. So to be honest, I have a Chinese Twitter account, and my retweets is often higher than that, than the 53 million New York Times followers. How many followers do I have? 61,000. Only 61,000, okay? And my retweets is more than New York Times. Well, then if we look at Forbes, Forbes has 18 million Twitter followers. And let me read it to you, the recent 5 posts and what are the retweets. The most recent one is 14. The second to the most recent one is 0. Then 7, 26, and 20. Okay, Bloomberg is even worse. Bloomberg has 80 million followers. And Bloomberg's 5 posts, they got 1 retweet, 3, 5, 9, and 19. So it's just a very, very small number. It just look pretty miserable. Okay, it cannot even match up with my own Twitter account. So basically, and Dave Rubin, apparently he's pointing out that Elon Musk, check it out. What's going on there? Is that fake influence? Is anything under the hood that's fishy? And interesting enough, okay, what is the Elon Musk's reply? He actually replied. You understand, if you play with the Twitter, right, you don't have a guarantee of somebody, he's going to read your things and even less about replying to you. But Elon Musk replied to Dave Rubin. He said this. He said, this is interesting. No, he said, yes, I noticed that too. Pretty weird. Okay, so let's see whether Elon Musk will be following through that and unearth all the things that we don't know. As he said already, right? It's just, he said he wants to make transparent the moderation policy, moderation algorithm, and also the suggestion algorithm. He doesn't want to see the shadow ban that happened without people knowing that, and he doesn't want to see certain type of popping up certain account without people knowing about that either. So he wants this to be as transparent as possible. Well, doesn't make common sense, right? So we all wish to look at, find out to have a Twitter that is decent, that is honest, and that is, accurate. What do you think? So leave your comment there. I want to know that whether you have any experience of your followers has jumped up or dropped, and presumably I think jump up is more bigger chance. But check it out. If you have any information for us to know, let us know, because this is indeed very interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, the second piece of news is Elon Musk tweeted a few things, okay? This morning he tweeted this. Just hear me out. Truth Social, you're talking about Trump's Twitter platform. Truth Social is currently beating Twitter and the TikTok on the Apple Store. He actually attached a screen capture there. Mm-hmm. And it's posted there. And so he went on and tweeted this. He said, Truth Social exists because Twitter censored free speech.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people would agree with that.
Yeah, but he jabbed on the Trump a little bit. He said, Twitter Social, here's a parenthesis. He said, terrible name.
Truth Social, you mean?
Truth Social, I'm sorry. Uh-huh. Truth Social, he said, terrible name. Should be called a Trumpet instead. Well, that's Elon Musk's joke. I think, I'm supposed to give you some joke, so I'm just borrowing his joke, okay? Trumpet. So it seems, we'll understand, okay, where he come from. Anyway, so that's that. What do you think? Do you think it's a fair assessment, a fair, jab, or you think he has bad intention? What do you think? I want to know how you...
Yeah, let's have a survey.
Yeah, let's have a survey. You like that comment or you don't like that comment? You think it's good nature or bad intention? So that's what I want to know. All right, okay, so with that, as you type up your comment, which we will be taking a look and which we will be coming back and to read about it, let's move on some major move by the DHS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Department of Homeland Security is setting up a new board designed to counter so-called misinformation related to Homeland Security with a focus specifically on Russia and the irregular migration. The board will be called Disinformation Governance Board and it will be headed by Executive Director Nina Jakowicz.
Right. And the statement of the DHS said, our Undersecretary for Policy, and that guy's name is called Rob Silvers, is co-chairing with our Principal Deputy General Counsel, whose name is Jennifer Gaskell, in leading a just recently constituted Misinformation, Disinformation Governance Board. Hear me out. Misinformation, Disinformation Governance Board. So we are bringing... the goal is to bring the resources of the department together to address that threat.
So the new executive director, Jakowicz, was previously a disinformation fellow at the Wilson Center and had advised the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry as part of the Fulbright Public Policy Fellowship.
Yeah, her previous job also oversaw Russia and Belarus program at the National Democratic Institute. Yeah, NDI, okay, and she announced the new board via Twitter also, Twitter on Wednesday, which is today. And yeah, and this lady also called the laptop. Well, basically, his past history is very interesting because once that is announced, people just dig it out, right? Dig out things. And she actually previously called the laptop of President Joe Biden's son's Hunter, okay, a Trump campaign product. And then she was pretty outspoken about attacking conservative or being critical about with conservatives. She also said, "I shudder to think regarding the Elon Musk's Twitter purchase." Okay, she said this: "I shudder to think about if free speech absolutist were taking over more platforms, what that would look like for the marginalized communities which are already shouldering disproportionate amounts of this abuse."
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Well,
What
so so would people kind of correlate this new board with the move that Elon Musk acquires the
Yeah,
Twitter?
you cannot just stop guessing because this happened 2 days after the purchase. So you just wonder. So are they related?
So what's Elon Musk's reaction? He said in his tweet, the extreme antibody reaction from those who fear free speech says it all. And he continues saying, by free speech, I simply mean that which matches the law. I am against censorship that goes far beyond the law. If people want less free speech, they will ask government to pass laws to that effect. Therefore, going beyond the law is contrary to the will of the people.
Yeah, I think he made it rather clear, right? He said, well, basically his boundary, his criteria is the law. And then if people don't like certain type of speech, the people will pass new law. So if he disregard the law and go beyond the law, then it's contrary to the will of people, right? And then in that light, okay, so what is this disinformation, misinformation governance board? What's that job? And so that apparently that just it just present a question to all of us. And what does that do? Remember, this is within the DHS, the Homeland Security service, right? So it's very interesting. We'll see what that means. And but Elon Musk today, there's a lot of liberal media's criticizing Elon Musk's purchase of the Twitter, and then it's become another yet polarized issue. And but it's just very interesting, okay? And Elon Musk also said mostly the left are not, well, basically to the effect of his buying Twitter, and it seems he's moving into it, right? He's already said, I noticed New York Times has a very abnormal low number of retweets with each of their posts. And as Elon Musk is apparently open up the hood, is looking into things. And he tweeted this thing today. He said, mostly the left are not happy. Some people on the right not happy too. But I need to take care of the 80% of the people. All right. So do you agree? Do you agree his point of view? And but again, the saga of the Twitter purchase and the aftermath is still continuing on. Continuing. So we would like to bring you interesting story, interesting development after that.
Yeah. So.
All right. So we have to make an announcement here, right? Don't we?
Okay.
Yeah. So soon this channel, Wei and Kathy Show, will be assuming its old name. Yeah, it's going to revert into the old name, which is called Sound of Hope News, SOH News, Sound of Hope News. The reason is we're going to enrich this channel with more people, more program, news report. And this program will serve as the analysis and special report, or sometimes with the commentary purpose, okay? But it will have more news reporting with just one time a day and just, go from there, eventually maybe to 5 or 6 rounds of news. And the initial focus, actually, I hope you like it, okay? And it's about China. The reason why we do that is first, it's our expertise. The second, China will become only more important as time goes by in the recent future, okay? I'm sorry, in the near future. And a lot of things are happening in China. and it will have a big spillover effect over the world. So the next few pieces of news has to do with China. So that's also based upon the same reason, right? So Kathy, anything for our loyal folks that has been here with us for,
Yeah, for
2
the
years,
past 2
right?
years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, I know a lot of our audience actually love our original name, Sound of Hope News. So we are returning to this name as our channel name, but the Will and Kathy show is still here. So in case there will be a transition, but in case you saw the channel name or the logo banner start to have a change, that's why. So don't be surprised, but we would appreciate your continued support, your company, your comments, anytime is always very appreciative from us.
Yeah, and the Curtis Cringe, you wrote, good idea with the expansion. You are my first choice, and I like more. Thank you. And and Louis, you wrote that I really like the SOH name. I think that's great, and you're going back. Yes, think about it. Sound of hope, right? Don't we need that at this time of the history, at this in the current situation of our country and our world? Sound of hope news.
Yeah, so with our daily update of the news, so hopefully you will coming to visit our channel more often every day, right? So right now our this show is 3 times a day, a week.
Yeah, we will be increasing that. And Mark Somers, you wrote, "We'll follow you anywhere." Thank you, Mark. And James California said, "There is hope." Yes, there is hope. The hope will only grow bigger.
And previously, Jeff said, "I wish you guys were on Rumble so we could get off." So we actually on Rumble, we're uploading some of our shows on Rumble. So just search for Sound of Hope News. You will see our shows there.
Okay, so before we move on, I do want to address this question, from Jim Novak. And you asked, is China influencing Elon Musk? Okay, indeed, I think I have an answer for you, at least to the best of my knowledge. The short answer is no. Okay, the reason why is that because of Elon Musk's influence and because the technological advantage of the Tesla electric car, China literally invited him over there and literally gave him a gift of the Shanghai factory. They built it within just a few months, just give it as a gift. And he bought the land for the 1/10 of the price, all right, while he is also a sole, ownership. He does not have to enter a partnership with China like all the American companies before. You have to be a partner. And your other partner have access to all the information, all the tech know-how that you hold. But in the case of Tesla Shanghai factory, he does not have to review anything. And it seems that he's withholding things. So the typical formula of the CCP is they invite you over, they give you a gift that you cannot resist, and then you are there, you produce things, you sell things, you make money, you got trapped deeper and deeper, and eventually when you grow very fat, they're gonna kill you, just like kill a pig.
Well, one thing they always do is they force you to do technology transfer.
Right.
Yeah, through collaboration.
Otherwise, they're gonna take your market away. Okay, so in that type of it's just very classic maneuver that has happening for 30 years, especially 19 years since 2001 after the WTO, which opened up doors of China for many American companies. All right, so at a certain point, they play a trick against Elon Musk. They create a scandal and then impose that upon the Tesla of Shanghai. And then after that incident, interesting enough, Elon Musk was preparing to open the second factory in China. He canceled it out. He moved that to Berlin, Germany. So now the Austin factory has become the largest one, replacing the Shanghai factory. So my understanding and my knowledge and my information tells me that Elon Musk is not, collaborating with the CCP in the area that they should not collaborate. So he seems to is clean and he's guarding his secret and he's taking his gift and produce a lot of cars over there, 1/4 of the Tesla's total number of cars. He moved a lot of cars to Europe and sell it there and until the German factory can take over. So that's what we know about Elon Musk in China. So if you have different information, let me know. So, but that's that's the answer. My answer to you.
Yeah, I think people would just hope that Elon Musk would, with his wisdom, intelligence, and value behind him, would not bow to CCP in any way. And, no guarantees, but I think that's what people hope for.
Yeah, and also he does say good things about China. I mean CCP, and I would take that as I think that's only would be taken as face value because it's there. And but in terms of guarding his know-how and guarding his integrity, I think he's okay, and that's all. Hope he will be okay. All right, let's move on to the next story.
Okay, so we report to you, not only Shanghai, now people in Beijing continue to become panic over potential lockdown, just like Shanghai, due to the outbreak and the zero COVID policy. And so although the authorities in Beijing have been claiming there are enough supplies, no need to panic, and so on and so forth, but there's still a local rush to buy. Recently, CCTV's anchorwoman Liu Xin revealed that she was hoarding food for the first time in 2 years and attached a group of photos of supermarket rush, but later she deleted the post. In addition, former CCTV employees also revealed that the CCTV's internal supermarket was snapped up.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to explain what is CCTV?
A CCTV is
China Central TV, basically state-owned official Chinese government's TV.
Yeah, the largest mouthpiece for the Chinese Communist Party. But who's Liu Xin? If you remember, back in 2019, at that time, the host on Fox, Trish Regan, interviewed this lady, Liu Xin. She is the anchorwoman for CGTN. So what's CGTN? CGTN is the English subsidiary of CCTV. All right, so now you know who she is, right? So what happened? On the night of April 24th, many shelves in Beijing supermarket were swept empty as people hoarding vegetables and food. That's according to a lot of the posting online. And the people in Shanghai even are advising Beijingers online how to hoard. So the CCTV, the CCP published an article on its state-run media saying that experts appealed to public not to panic hoard. An official also claimed that the supply of all the essential goods is sufficient and stable, and Beijing has a perfect supply assurance system.
Can I insert just a comment? Mm-hmm. Just information, not a comment, actually information. So these days when people read that, they become panic. Okay, when they read that, they don't believe it. They don't believe anything the government.
They interpret it contrary, right?
They just cannot believe anything the government says. I'm not overstating here. And they will go hoard because, the past experience has validated time and again that whatever rumor CCP said is just truth ahead of the time.
Yeah, if they want to assure you something, maybe it's the contrary.
Right.
So even the anchor of CCTV, CGTN, did not believe the official words. So Liu Xin, on the eve of April 24th, she tweeted in English, saying that Beijing's turn, but we are getting ready. I stocked up too for the first time in 2 years. Let the tough times come. She actually tried to have a positive spin, right, in her message.
Apparently.
And included a group of photos of supermarket shelf being snapped up. Even, but quickly, Liu Xin deleted this tweet and sent a new one, saying that overnight, the very same shop got filled up again with fresh produce. It's just a matter of what you want to buy, not what you can. And it was completely unnecessary for me to overthink last night. Greetings from a supermarket in Chaoyang. Chaoyang is the district that richest
Beijingese live. And let me insert a comment. Chances are, after the first post, her party secretary gave her a call, say, how dare you post something like that? Take it down and make it up. So usually that's what happened.
Yeah, she went back to the supermarket, or maybe we don't know which supermarket she went, and retake photos and even purposefully highlight the date of the produce. It's April 25th to make sure to show people it's real. So under the CCP system, the initial statement, just from a lot of people's experience, from both me and Wei as well, from a person, the initial statement usually comes from the heart, which is more truthful, whether it's due to the person's sincerity or out of fear. So Liu Xin's statement and the change of tone is also probably a sign that the Beijing authorities are ready to lock down the district or even the whole city. Yeah, another evidence is on the same day, former CCTV reporter Wang Zhian also tweeted, CCTV has its own internal supermarkets, and I heard from previous colleagues that yesterday, the 24th, CCTV staff sniffed the wind and moved to empty their own internal supermarkets, and nothing could be bought. After grabbing the food, these anchors came back to the screen and setting from the screen saying, citizens, live a good life, no need to grab and hoard. So
this is how absurd a communist regime is. It just has been that way,
Yeah, so people commented, the netizens from China saying the essence of the panic actually comes from the loss of the government's credibility, comes from the fear of the pandemic prevention policy, which is a zero COVID, and it comes from the doubts about the authenticity of the propaganda content. And some netizens said, the more appeal by the government, the more I become panic. And someone else said, the fear is not that there's nothing. The fear is that after it's locked down, even there's something available out there, but they cannot be delivered to my home.
Yeah. So there's this unbelievable wide area of hunger going on in Shanghai. And why Shanghainese are going hungry, okay? In the 21st century and in the wealthiest city in China, large number of people are going hungry every day. The CCP personnel are making huge profit using group buying at this time. So after Shanghai was locking down over a month ago, donations of food from all over the country have been continuing to enter Shanghai. But local residents still face the threat of going hungry. According to multiple sources, CCP personnel are taking advantage of the authorities' strict epidemic prevention policy and the control measures to make huge profit through community group purchasing. Insiders disclose that some government personnel are earning like a 300,000 yuan, which is about like a 50,000 US dollars per day. Mind you, per day through community group buy because people have to get the food.
Yeah. So according to volunteers, which is they recruited a lot of people, sometimes from out of the city of Shanghai. So recently, a screenshot of a conversation between a volunteer named Aaron Shuai and a netizen was widely circulated online. The screenshot shows that the volunteer holds a document issued by the Shanghai Association of Volunteers, which is under the leadership of the Shanghai Civilization Commission. This registration date is on March 30th, 2022, shortly after the Shanghai authorities announced the city's lockdown. And according to this volunteer, Aaron Shuai, he belongs to the Security Supply Unit, which his duty is to supply scarce supplies to the community. He has been earning a daily income of 10,000 yuan, which is over $1,500 US dollars per day. And according to him, this kind of high profit job is not something anyone can get. One needs connections, needs relationships. And he mentioned in the communication, I hope the pandemic will not end. And Aaron also explained how he is not responsible for community group purchasing. What he does is to use the official pass to transport 500 boxes of cigarettes into Shanghai every day and then sell them through community group purchasing channel, earning 100 yuan each box. And he said, the current supply unit I'm working for is set up by the government, and the pass is also issued by the government, all of which are all government owned. So you know what it means. And he said the person who recruited him earns $300,000 yuan a day, which equals almost 50,000 US dollars.
Yeah, community volunteer said the community and the neighborhood committee have temporary passes that could allow you to go out, but the supply list is issued by the government, at least up to the district government and the city government. The volunteer went on and said, right now the biggest problem is that there are supplies out there, but they cannot enter the residential community. The only way for people to get the supplies is to participate in the community group purchases or participate in group purchases organized by the government. Either way, you will be exploited by somebody else. He feels that government just does not want people to buy food at a normal price.
So what about this group purchasing? Actually, my family members, they told me they can only get food by participating the group purchasing. However, recently a video released by a group buying team leader named Ying Ying has been circulating on the internet. In the video, she revealed that during this pandemic, some people are driving up prices to make profits while people are in difficult time. Ying Ying said that people can hardly get vegetables in regular shopping channel. And she said, even though you set up numerous alarms for those regular shopping channel, you almost won't be able to snap up any food. So since last week, many group buying emerged in their neighborhood community because once they reach certain amount with the group purchasing, someone will be able to deliver the food to them. So therefore, Ying Ying volunteered to organize two group buying. One is to buy milk, the other is to buy vegetables. Because her special role as the group leader, she said, I was able to witness some insights in the vegetable group purchasing. After I saw those insights, I'm outraged. That's what Ying Ying said.
And she organized group purchases to buy milk and vegetable in her community, as Kathy just said, because of her special status as the group leader. And I think...
she saw how the sellers driving up the price, giving group buying leaders kickbacks, just like her. She could get kickbacks. So in this video, Ying Ying asked 4 questions. Let's take a look.
第一个疑问，上海从3月中旬疫情严重之后到现在已经4月中旬了，物价基本上都那么高，为什么1个月了都解决不了基础物价的一个问题？第二，全国各地在上海疫情爆发之后捐了大量的物资，包括很多的水果、很多的蔬菜，为什么现在
So we'll just read that to you. The first question, she said, since the outbreak in Shanghai in mid-March, right now it's already mid-April, but it's over a month now.
小区里面团购的高价菜总是会有货呢？第四个问题，到底哪些供货商才能
read the subtitle.
水果进小区的资质？这里面有没有公开透明的标准？有没有存在权利行租的问题？
Yeah, so she's really asking good questions.
But those are why the price stays so high after 1 month is still that way.
And people cannot get food from regular conventional shopping channels. And but the high-priced group buying in the community always have food in stock. And she's questioning, is there any problem of power rent seeking? So many residents have taken videos revealing the corrupt behavior of the CCP's low-level organizations, which is the neighborhood committees. So the neighborhood committees actually is not a residents group. It's also belong to the CCP. And some other official organizations involved in selling donated food and supplies to community residents at a much higher price. And another group buying leader reveals how he was only able to have rice with soybean sauce before becoming the group leader. and how his life dramatically changed afterwards. He had so much supply in his home. So that's behind the hunger that Shanghai people are experiencing. You can take a look. Yeah, before he only had a bowl of rice with the soybean sauce. Now see what he has. Meat, everything, noodle, everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a shame. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Supreme Court, right? We're talking
Right,
about. Yeah.
right. I think this has been in the news. Maybe you already know, but there's a very elite public high school in Fairfax County, Virginia, called the Thomas Jefferson High School, and they brought the school board on the court, but just 2 days ago, the U.S. Supreme Court rejected the request from the group of parents to block the race-based admission policy at this high school. So what's the reason? The Supreme Court didn't really explain a lot. It just simply said the application to vacate the stay presented to the Chief Justice and by him referred to the court is denied. So we're going to explain to you the whole story, and also we'll share with you what are the parents thinking about this. So the school, Thomas Jefferson High School for Science and Technology, commonly referred to as TJ as an abbreviation. It is the nation's top public high school. The school was founded in 1985 to improve STEM education in Northern Virginia. We remember when is 1985. That's the peak of the Cold War, right?
Yep.
So, it was believed that at that time the United States needed a large number of scientific and technological talents to fight against the Soviet Union. So, TJ was established to recruit a lot of talented students, and since the day one, it had very clear admission requirements. Is that only those who pass the test can enter the school. The admission to TJ has been merit-based and race-blind. Requirements for the admission includes a standardized test, grade point average, and completion of certain math classes and the teacher's recommendation. Things changed in 2020 under the requirement of the Virginia Secretary of Education. The school board and the superintendent completely did away with the test. In addition, the new admission policy also caps the number of students allowed from the district's 23 middle schools. And among them, the 3 middle schools that typically account for most of TJ's admission have higher numbers of Asian American students than most other middle schools. So you can see the results. The admission of the Asian American students to TJ drastically dropped. So the parents, students, and the staff and the community formed an organization called the Coalition for TJ. And they believe this is race-based admissions, and so they brought the school board to the court. In February, a U.S. District Court judge affirmed the group's concerns, saying that this new policy was infected with talk of racial balancing. However, a month later, a 3-judge panel in the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeal voted to allow the school to temporarily maintain its new policy. So the Coalition for TJ appealed to the Supreme Court. Although Virginia Attorney General Jason Myers filed an emergency request with the Supreme Court on behalf of the Coalition for TJ, with several other states' AG joining the letter. The Supreme Court still rejected their request. And the court order noted that Justices Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Neil Gorsuch would have granted the group's request, but only 3 of them. So how do parents feel about this decision? how it will affect them, affect their families, and what's their future plan. I talked to one of the TJ parents. She's a member of the coalition for TJ. Her name is Julia McCaskill. She's a stay-home mom, has 3 kids, 2 of them currently in TJ High School. Julia is actually a new immigrant from Shanghai, China, and she immigrated to the United States about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I really was hoping that Supreme Court can side it with us.
So Julia is obviously very disappointed with the Supreme Court's decision. I asked why she and their group believe this new admission policy is discriminatory and what kind of challenge they are facing.
I mean, for TJ, a lot of the families are immigrants, Asian immigrants. So that's why we push very hard on the education. For students, they do well in school. It's actually a lesson for them. You work hard, you can achieve your goal. But the way that they do the race, even though school board deny that it's race-based, but it is. Well, they say it's race blind, but during at the application form, it has the race. Question: what is your race? Ironically, that box you cannot check. Does not give you the option say I'd rather not say. It's pre-checked for you. So it's like for us, it's like 2 or more races. And if you're Asian, so for some parents, like I want to choose, I'd rather not say, But you cannot. It's great on the application form. It is chosen for you. They know the applicant's race. They know the applicant's name. They know everything about the applicants. It's on the application form. So I think it's not good for Asian people because you work hard and the end of the day, your skin color says everything, right? And I also think if you think like Black students be happy about this, I don't think so. Now, well, you see, before when you go through the tests, okay, and some students, even your Black students, you're in TJ environment, and people will say, you went through all those tests, you're good, that's why you're here. And now, they went to the process that's according to your color skin. So even though you are in school, you're in TJ, they say, are you coming in for AA, affirmative action? And even if you have a doctor, and if the doctor is Black, and will you think, did she go to medical school because of AA or because she is good? When people can choose, people will have the doubt. Do you really think it's fair for Black people? If they are really skillful, the merit, they focus on meritocracy, do you think it's really fair for them? Not really. So I think it's actually hurting them too. I went to the school board meeting or talk to different newspaper. I keep saying that TJ doesn't belong to certain race. It doesn't belong to Asian. It doesn't belong to white. It doesn't belong to any skin color group. And you want to go into the school, and you need to be ready for that, right? They need to start to prep them at early age in elementary school. Have the pipeline, just let them know the importance of the STEM, how to prepare for them. When the time comes, they're ready. They can get into the school. But if the school board is focusing on gender education or waste of time teaching CRT and use the race to explain everything, you're successful because you're white. You're not successful because you're black. It's really harmful, and they waste time teaching those I call useless stuff. Not focused on the STEM, not focused on the real education, reading, math, science, those things. And it's just it's a bad cycle, you know. It's not helping anyone. Lowering the standard, it's not the way to help.
So the school board believes that the new policy was implemented in the name of equity. So how does Julie think of it?
Equity is socialism. It's a socialism in education. It's an equal outcome. Equality is enough. Equality is give you equal opportunity, and everyone can shine because everyone is different. And even some kids not so good in reading or math, but if you're good in sports, you can shine in that area too. So everyone gets the equal opportunity. So just not fair. Not just for us, also for Black students, Hispanic students. There are some Black people, I admire them too. They have Black scientists, you know, those people a lot. But do you think they wanted to be considered as you're successful because you got help? You know, without the white people, you Black people cannot success. That's not fair. It's just not fair.
So Julie mentioned that this kind of policy is a socialism in education. Given the background that Julia came from a socialist country, seeing such thing happening in the U.S., how does she feel?
I feel very, very scared. I was a teacher in China. I was a teacher, and I taught like in the center school in the district, 区重点. Yeah, good schools. And every year, we will have some students who are not so good, but the parents has the connection, has a relationship with the school, and they're rich. They give you a certain amount of money, and you take them. But think about poor students or not so fortunate students. What about them? I think when they start to do the socialism education, it creates loopholes. Only the loopholes is for privileged people, not those like the immigrant people. We socialist countries say that you have the relationship, you have the connection, and it for those regular people, parents are hardworking, blue collar families. They don't have the connection. What about them? Education is the only way that they can reach to the successful goal. There is a group called NAACP, and we have a parent. His name is Harry Jackson. He himself is Black, and but he focused on education. He great, parent. He also said that in the local Fairfax local NAACP, and the most of the people are white liberals. They say helping Black people. And then for those rich white liberals, I even think, do they want to destroy such a great public school so that eliminate the competition for their kids because they're rich and their kids can go to private school? And the TJ students, regular people, immigrant families, the kids are good in STEM and everything. They go to TJ, they go to good college. Is that they consider this as a competition? They can destroy the school and then their kids go to private school? You see this? I wanted my kids to have good education, but we're living in the expensive area. Living cost is high, and we don't have those luxurious lifestyle. We don't have those expensive materials. We focus on the education, and we spend everything we can for their education. And then, even I want to go to private school, I can't afford it. I have 3 kids. We need to create more TJ, more good public schools like TJ, to help people, help those students who is interested in STEM, who wants to pursue their education goals, pursue for the goals. So, yeah, that's my thought. I just feel quite sad, like this is a socialism. And the people in the US, they would say, oh, socialism is so good. Everyone is equal. Everyone is equal outcome. But no, socialism is not equal outcome. It creates the small amount of people on the top, elites, and the rest of them, you're kind of slave. There's no in the between. And we need capitalism. You have the equal opportunity, and you try your best to achieve your goals, right? And then they did the test. Is like if everyone averaged your score, and nobody's gonna work hard. Nobody wants to work hard. So what kind of society will be?
So, what is the future plan for Julia and the group, the coalition for TJ, in regards to this case?
The fight is not over yet, and the school board. This is called massive resistance 2.0, and in Virginia, 1950s, they do the massive resistance when they passed the law that you cannot segregate people. The black people had to, they're pushing. Democrats are pushing, try to separate them. And this is exactly the massive resistance 2.0. The sad thing is the school board, 12 school board members, every single one of them is Democrats. And the school board, it should be nonpartisan, but they make it totally partisan. They don't care about education. All they care is about social justice. Oh, social justice is just gender equality and who knows. Not focused on education. I think that's why we hope next year, 2023, we'll have the school board election. And parents are waking up, and hopefully we can take over the school board. Have parents, have teachers who really focus on education on the board. As for the case, I think in September there will be another. They will appeal to the court, so they will have court hearing, all those things, and then they will decide if the new process will be applied to the class 2027. So, and then we will do again, fight for class 2028. Just the battle just continue. Just hope more and more parents will wake up and join us in the fight. And even the animal protect their youngs. Well, parents, don't touch my kids. Leave my kids alone. Yeah.
All right, so Julia said that she has 2 kids already in TJ, but a youngest daughter is, they plan to send her also to TJ, but she also saying, discussing with her husband, because her daughter is supposed to get in 2027, if they still implement this type of policy, they are thinking to save money to send her daughter, the youngest daughter, to a private school. So, Yeah, so just to want to bring you this story, the perspective of the mom who, is in that school district, and also who is a new immigrant from China.
Yeah, okay. So that will be all for tonight. And I wish I can, we can read some more there. But actually, yeah, I have to run for my part. And
So we have like a couple minutes.
okay.
Okay. So, yeah, Mark said that the road to hell is paved by social engines.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, great to have you guys with us tonight. And yeah, this is almost 1 hour. And
Okay.
yeah, well, just I have to defer the jokes until next time. If you allow me, please.
Good excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Fred.
Hours up.
Yeah, Fred said Asians are welcome in America. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think, yeah, we are all Americans.
Yeah, and we all love this country.
Foremost. Yes.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. Have a good night, and we'll see you on Friday night. And take care. And yeah, let's all stay hopeful, right? This is Sound of Hope. Okay.
All right. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Good night. Bye bye.